Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? It's the most underrated on the face of the earth, Gringo the MC. And I'm just really tapping in with y'all because I know it's been a while, man. I haven't posted anything on this channel that was like not just new music or whatever. I've been dropping a lot of music. So I just wanted to tap in with y'all, talk to y'all. I asked some questions to my Facebook fans and followers, and they had some interesting questions for me. So I'm going to read those in a minute and answer them all for y'all. And really over and above all, with the holidays, with this stressful season around, I just wanted to unwind and BS with y'all, kick it for a second, man, because man, these times get stressful for everybody, you know what I'm saying? For me too, but I know there's plenty of people out there way more stressed than me. And I just want you to know that you're gonna make it happen, baby. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen the way it's supposed to, and it's gonna be okay, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I mean, the world getting crazy, bro. It's a lot of like, like, has the world always been this crazy? No, it hasn't. Like when we were like, crazy things have happened before, super crazy things have happened before, but never at the consistency that they're happening now. And I sense it like in pop culture, like all these, like a former president got shot, which has happened before, but just the way it all went down is just weird. Like, I feel like beef used to be wholesome back in the day. Like, like grown man has a problem. Like Lincoln, the way that John Wilkes Booth killed Lincoln, he like shot him in a theater, and then he jumped out the balcony, and then he stood on the stage and he delivered a speech, dog. You know what I mean? Like, that would never happen today. Like, that's kind of poetic, I mean, I'm not saying he was right for doing it, but I'm just saying, like, have some passion in it. I feel like there's no passion in these things anymore. Even like this guy who murked this CEO, the CEO of United. I feel like, I mean, like, he's a hero to some people, and I wouldn't say he's a hero to me. I don't hate the dude. Like, I think that specific crime had more sense than a lot of like petty level street violence, and you know what I mean, like stuff like that. I think at least he had a reason for it, but like there was no passion in it, man. There was no passion. Like, he got caught with a manifesto. That's like all we heard from him. No, he had a chance to he had the world as a stage for those few days. He knew he was gonna get caught. He was chilling at McDonald's. You're chilling at McDonald's. You know you're going down, dude. You're not in a good spot. You're chilling at Mickey D's, bro. You know what I mean? So bring back the passion, man. Bring back the passion. That's what I wish for. I guess we'll get into some of these questions, man, and see where they lead to, man. I'm just gonna go down up the list from the first question to the last question, and let's talk about it, man. Question number 1. Mex Luger says, when and how did you get called Gringo? I've answered this one a lot of times, man, so I'll make it quick. But I grew up with a lot of Mexican people around me in Norfolk, Nebraska. That's like where I went to school and stuff like that. And there was a ton of Mexican people there for various reasons. But yeah, I grew up around a lot of Mexican homies and stuff, and good Mexican food. It's like a small city, but there's a bunch of fire taquerias and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Tony Goyer says, what makes you motivated to write songs? Like, do they just pop into your head, or does your mood or surroundings bring inspiration? All of it. But I do notice, actually, when I was up in Canada, I was talking to my boy DB about this. I was like, bro, like we walked into a studio and there was a big painting of Nipsey Hussle on the wall in the lobby. And that's like the first thing you see when you walk into the studio. And then we record a song, and then in my verse I mentioned Nipsey or something. I can't remember what I said, but the song actually drops tomorrow or something. But I mentioned Nipsey Hussle, and then but it's because like subconsciously I walked into the studio, that was the first thing I saw. So like that seed was planted in my mind, and I'm sure that I do it a lot with like things that I don't even realize. So yeah, the mood and surroundings definitely always bring inspiration, whether you want them to or not. But it also just pops into your head. Number 2, what things would you say you won't ever write about or don't feel the need to speak on and glorify? Much love, bro. I would never say never, man. I think that art is pretty limitless. I mean, like we could sit here and imagine some pretty far-fetched offensive things that probably would never have a place. But for the most part, I believe in free speech, man, and I think it helps us all progress. But with that being said, the older that I get, I don't really like glorifying like anything that's gonna ruin people's lives, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind talk about like sipping a little bit, smoking a little bit, something like that. But like, you know, I would never glorify like a lot of the substances that I used when I was younger and stuff. Like, or at least not the way that I used them, like psychedelics and stuff. I was going hard, bro. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I also don't think that like that's off limits. Like, if that's the point in your life that you're at, and that's the music. If somebody wants to hear the music, then I think somebody should be making the music. You know what I mean? So nothing's off limits. Cody Mitchum says, "What's better, Texas food or Nebraska food?" Honestly, I like the Mexican food back home. Like, Tex-Mex is cool. I eat it quite a bit. Me and my girl eat that quite a bit, but I like the Mexican food back home, but I like the more like authentic Mexican food back home, and I like the way that it's served and the style, the way that, I don't know if it's like more like people from the north where I'm from, you know what I mean, like Norteño or something. I don't know how it all works, but I just prefer some of the restaurants back home. But it's not bad in Texas by any means, and there's good places in Texas, there's bad places in Nebraska, and vice versa. So it's really just preference, I think. But oh yeah, and aside from that, the barbecue down here is way better for the most part. And there's like little stuff in Nebraska that's good. Like, there's a spot called Runza that's fire. Runza's fire, but it's got its gems. Chili and cinnamon rolls is a Nebraska thing that's fire. But yeah, it's preference, bro. I love the food everywhere, bro. I'm overweight, dog. I'm working on it though. And then Cody Mitchum also says, "Was Alex Jones right about the frogs?" Yeah, dude. Alex Jones has been right about so much stuff, and he's out of his mind for sure. And he kind of does that. He creates that image of himself, and maybe on purpose. I don't know, but he's been right about a lot of stuff, and he was right about the frogs for sure. Yeah. Frank Ketchum the fourth says, "Writer's block. What's the cure?" And please, no cliche response. Well, it's kind of a cliche question. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. It's all love. But it don't exist, bro. You know what I mean? Like, as you keep going, you'll realize you just gotta show up and try. And if you start out a studio session, or you start out a writing session, and you feel like you have writer's block and you're not gonna write something good, the chances of you writing something good are not that high. You're just not in the right mentality. But you show up to work anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you show up to work anyways, and you write something, and once in a while you surprise yourself, and it will be good. But even when it's not good, you're exercising that muscle. You think like when LeBron goes to the gym and he's like, "Man, I don't really feel like doing this today." You think he's like, it's one of those days you don't feel like being at work, but do it. You gotta do it. And I think a lot of artists, myself included, just kind of get past the point of having writer's block. I don't really get writer's block. I have days where like I just don't really like anything I write, but I can still write it, and it's still miles better from what I used to make. You know what I mean? Like, my standard is so high for it now that I feel like if I'm not writing an absolute smash hit song, then I have writer's block, so then he said, also, "How tall are you, dog?" I am like 5'10", 5'11". I always thought I was 5'11", but lately I think I'm 5'10". So maybe I'm shrinking, or maybe I was just exaggerating in my own mind, lying to myself. But I think I'm 5'10". Is all your beer really from Mexico? Pretty much. I mean, I like to try beers from other places too, but he's referencing an old song. This is Justin McKay that said that. Yeah, but I normally do prefer Mexican beers, like Modelo especially. Corona's alright, Tecate's okay. I don't know, man. But anytime I go somewhere new, I like to try like new beers and stuff like that. When I went to Canada on tour, I drank a lot of Molson's, which is that's their shit. That's like their Budweiser, or their, that Bud Light, or that's their like main beer, Yeah, Molson's Canadian, and it was pretty good. I like that beer, so I kind of just went and roam it, Wydeem Porter says, Ghost Coast or Third Coast? He's talking about the Midwest or the South, the Bay, the Gulf of Mexico area. Uh, they're good for different reasons, man. Like I like living down here in Texas, but I also love visiting back home. So I don't know if I'll pick one or the other. Like if I was like uber wealthy or something, I'd probably just go back and forth between both and have a crib in both places or something. But Rebecca Furnell says, last physical activity you did not in your home. So she got a bunch of questions. I'll answer them one at a time. Last physical activity you did not in your home. Well, I go to the gym. It's the gym is part of my apartments, but it's not in my home technically, but it's like on the same premises, I guess. So other than that, I don't know. I run outside like almost every day. I run on the treadmill some days, but a lot of days I run outside. So I do that like most days. Like yesterday, I guess, running outside. Today I ran in the gym. But ever been arrested? Yeah, like probably about 10 times for various low level things. I haven't been arrested in a long time though. I haven't been arrested in like 5 or 6 years, maybe something like that. 5 to 7 years, somewhere in there. Every time I get arrested, it's like over like weed or some dumb shit though. I got a DUI when I was 18, and now I don't even like to drive after like 1 or 2 beers, honestly. Like it just sketches me out. Not even because like I feel like I can't drive after that, but just because like if the police want to mess with you or something, I ain't dealing with that, man. I ain't giving them a reason. Best pet, I don't know. Me and my girl right now, we got 2 dogs, Bailey and Nipsey, and I love them both. They're pretty much like my only like real pet that's been mine. Like I've had other pets that were like my family's and stuff, but never one that was mine until Nipsey and Bailey. Best memory drinking and worst memory drinking. Oh wow. When I first started drinking, like I would just roll around with my homies and go to house parties, and I just thought drinking was so fun. Those are probably like the best times I've had like drinking. I've done some amazing shows and stuff where like everyone was drinking, and when I was in like high school and shit, it was just so fun to just get drunk like in somebody's basement with no air conditioning, and it's like 85 degrees down there and everyone's sweating and just pounding cheap beers. Man, it was so fun, and now it sounds miserable to me, but back then it was the truth, So worst memory drinking, probably like getting arrested drunk. That shit sucks. Or like the worst stories that I have when I drink, I probably don't really remember a lot of it, so I don't really have a memory associated with it. But yeah, like getting arrested, that's just for the birds, man. It's like nobody got time for that. What did you think you'd be when you were a kid? Honestly, like I've always kind of loved music and stuff. Before that, I really loved sports, and I wanted to play some type of sport professionally. But yeah, I realized pretty quick, like, all right, that probably ain't going. I mean, I probably could have busted my ass and really struggled and did it, but it was gonna be a uphill battle for me. When I was real young, I kind of wanted to be a lawyer just because people would tell me I'm smart and I should be a lawyer, but that wasn't something I really wanted to do. It was just, I was like 4, and 5, 6, 7. But I was really good at reading really early, so it's like people were like, oh, he's really smart. Little did they know. Anyways, Cody Gallatin says, what's something that sets you apart from other underground artists out right now? I don't like put up like no type of front or like really even image, and it's kind of my downfall too. And a lot of people, people in the music industry and stuff have told me that, but it's like, I don't care, dog. Do you like the music or not? And if you like the music, you don't keep coming back. I've always said that, and people are like, I don't know, dude. And now finally this year, everything's kind of paying off and like growing, and if I can keep it growing at this rate, I'll just get some face tats and paint my nails or something. I don't know. He said, also, if you could rank the hardest bars you've dropped, like what's your personal top 5? I quit drinking last week, but I'll get drunk if you ask me. That's one of them. If I ever blow up, I'ma slide on the city and throw a little party for all of the people who told me keep going when I was gonna quit, but they came to the shows and they boosted my ego. I like that one a lot. And I have so many, bro. Like I really don't even like dropping a song if I don't have at least a few lines in there that I really love like that. Barbara Chamberlain said, what was your favorite place to perform before the age of 20? And I believe I know why she's asking that, because she was my homie's mom, and I had a concert in her front yard one time. We built a stage and invited like a ton of kids over. It was like the last day of 7th grade or something. So I think that's why she's asking, which I did. I love that. That was a crazy party. A bunch of 7th graders just with like handles of Captain and everything you could have. It was so ratchet. We did that though. Shout out to you. My favorite place though that I performed before I was 20 is probably Sokol Underground. I got that shit tatted on me. Sokol Underground in Omaha, Nebraska. Now Sokol is called the Admiral, but I don't know if they do anything in the basement anymore or not, but I loved that place. Dustin Tatton said, what made you want to become a singer? I don't know, who wouldn't want to be a singer, bro? I was around a lot of music from the time I was very young. Like, everyone in my family had a big book of CDs that I would go through and just find different stuff I liked on it. Pop, country, rock, like Ozzy Osbourne, Keith Sweat, like just everything, you know? So I just always into music, man. And then when I got a guitar and started performing and stuff like that, people were like, oh, this is actually kind of good. You should keep going. I was like, that's all I needed to hear. Let's run it then. He says he doesn't want to, I wanted to become a singer to be the center of attention. I was never popular and I wanted people to like me, but now I don't know if I'd like to be famous. But for you, I don't want you to give up. I feel like I don't even want to try to sing my songs in front of anyone, but I'm more happy now than ever because I've been sober for 8 months. Well, that's awesome, dude. First of all, congratulations on your sobriety, man. That's always good to hear, especially like the age I'm getting to and stuff. I'm like, that's all I really want to hear. Like, I don't care if you're not sober from everything. Have your fun once in a while if it's good for you in your life. But like, don't nobody want to see somebody that's just messed up all the time, bro. Like, it's just not fun anymore, you know? So Dustin, good for you, brother. I don't know that being super famous would be super awesome. I think it would be awesome in the sense that, like, I'm trying to get the music out there and I want it to, you know, reach as many people as possible. That would be sick. But I don't know if I would enjoy being too famous to go to Walmart or something like that, you know? So, but I feel like it's one of those things, like, if that ever came or something, then I'm not going to trip about it. You know what I mean? It's like, you get this one life, you get this one opportunity to do this. Do it then. Do it to the fullest. But at the same time, like, I don't know if I would go out of my way to get that famous. Like, I would go out of my way to get bigger than I am now so that I could make a more comfortable living and, you know, do better tours at better venues and, you know, collaborate with some of my dream collaborations. But I don't know if I'd want to get, like, you know? That's crazy. Robert Santatoro, a.k.a. Rob San, says, what do you plan on doing with the money when Late Night gets 1 billion streams? Shout out my boy Rob San, man. We got a song out called Late Night. 1 billion streams. We splitting that 3 ways. We'll probably each get like $1,500. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be more than that. Probably buy a ranch. Sean Barnett said, why the F do I literally vibe with every song I've heard of yours? I'm old now, but I feel like you tell the story of my past. That's because I do, brother. I tell the story of all of our past. We're all connected and intertwined. So when you tell the truth, when you tell your own truth, you're also telling somebody else's truth. It may not be everybody's truth. They might be 7 degrees of separation apart from you. But if you tell your truth and it gets out to enough people, then you're going to find the people who are only 1 degree of separation away from you in this web of humanity. Shout out to you, Sean. I appreciate you. And that was all 16. I just posted this post like 2 hours ago. So not everybody really even got a chance to see it or ask their questions. So I'll do another episode of this soon. And make sure you get your questions in. I don't know if I'll do it on Facebook, Instagram. I'll do it somewhere. I'll ask the questions somewhere and then let y'all ask me the return questions. But yeah, man, so if there's any topics that you want covered on the next episode, man, let me know. And I'll keep tapping in with y'all every now and then. I appreciate y'all. Freeze with Hippie K dropped 23 minutes ago. You know how we coming. Shout out to y'all, man. I love you. Baby Freeze, shout out Gucci, cut the cushion, my cologne. Overseas with it coming, saying book a show in Rome. Who believed in it knowing, but I've known it all along. I went viral from the cribs to put the homies on my song.